Because when you make the sort of mistakes that the Cardinals obviously made last year, that general manager doesn't usually get a chance at a mulligan. But now he does with the new coach, and they take Kyler Murray #1 overall. But Swagoo, how confident are we that Kyler Murray will be a success on this level?
There's fairly some confidence, but for me, I just go with the history of what the NFL has told me. And at this point, that's all we can go by. A guy of Kyler Murray's stature, with a brand new coach coming in, has not had success in the NFL. And that's really what it boils down to. Now, with that being said, we have a direct correlation with the Rams when Fisher was there and everybody was ready to send Jared Goff into the abyss, and Sean McVay comes in, and Jared Goff looks formidable and looks like a really good quarterback. So if Cliff Kingsbury can bring that out of Kyler Murray, and the league somehow changes, like everybody's talking about, well, I don't think it's been changed at one damn bit, because Sony Michel was still toting the rock in the playoffs, and Tom Brady was still being a quote-unquote statue in the pocket, throwing the ball downfield to Gronkowski to not only win a championship in the AFC, but to also win the Super Bowl, then I'm wrong. But until Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, and Steve Kine and the Arizona Cardinals prove that, I think they'll be looking for another quarterback in a few years.
You know, I'm with Marcus when he looks at this, because there really hasn't been a dramatic shift. You talk about some of the small quarterbacks. You talk about Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. That's who people point to. You look at Baker Mayfield. But there's still 25-plus guys that meet a lot of those qualifications. And it's not that he can't do it. It's just that I wouldn't want to be the guy that's banking my future to be the first guy. I'd rather go with the surefire guy that checks all the boxes.
Right, absolutely. You'd rather go with that guy. But if you look at the history of the draft and the guys of that stature, obviously Kyler's the smallest, guys of that stature that have gotten a chance or that have gone early, they've gone early because they were special. Drew Brees was special. That's why he went in the second round. That's why he's played the whole century and broken all these records. Baker Mayfield was special. Even Russell Wilson was special. That's Johnny why those guys start. Now, Johnny Manziel wasn't special, but that's Cleveland, right? Tim Couch was special. Tim Couch was special. They drafted him, and he was terrible. And so what I'm saying is a lot of the guys that have gotten the opportunity, that have been evaluated that high, that are smaller, have played well. And so I think Kyler Murray has that same opportunity, and the game has changed, not necessarily, and I hate when people bring up the Patriots with anything, right? I've had this discussion because they're an anomaly, right? A team to go to 9 Super Bowls in 18 years, you are different. And they're going to have a statue. They also have Bill Belichick. Let's give them the opportunity to play.
Here's what I don't want people to get misconstrued. Kyler Murray's talent warrants a #1 pick. Maybe I hadn't said that or expressed that throughout this whole process. When you look at what he had the ability to do on the football field, you looked at that guy and said, that warrants a #1 pick. But I always beg people this question. Well, why didn't it warrant Lamar Jackson the #1 pick? And why didn't it warrant those guys that we quote-unquote call special this type of hype? Cliff Kingsbury, the new wave NFL, is the reason Kyler Murray was the #1 pick. Now they have to go prove that their formula can work when it hadn't happened before.
Is the National Football League about to start looking a lot more like the Big 12? I suppose we're about to find that out in relatively short order. All right, we have so many people here.
3 Super Bowls.
Let's go through a bunch of them here. And Marcus, I'm going to start with you. Out of all the things that happened last night, what was your most interesting or favorite storyline?
My favorite storyline was Jeffrey Simmons. Not only is it a story of redemption, it's a story of a guy that would have been a top 5 pick. He suffered an ACL injury. When you talk about adversity, Jeffrey Simmons had a terrible situation going into Mississippi State.
Yes.
He changed the narrative, and I think we need to give this kid credit for doing so. He went to Mississippi State. He attacked head-on what he did and took full responsibility for it. And if you talk to anybody in Starkville, they'll tell you what type of guy he is.
Bobby, your favorite narrative?
The biggest one for me is Devin Bush, the linebacker out of Michigan. When you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, you talk about Blitzburg. RC knows what I'm talking about. This is the tight race between him and Devin White. He's a phenomenal talent. He's one of the best guys in coverage in college football. Top 5 combine across the board. Terrific instincts. He is going to be a game changer. He was at the University of Michigan. I love everything that's about this guy. He can chase guys down and make plays all over the field.
Traded up to get him. Ryan, what was yours last night?
That Dave Gettleman is a real-life G. Dave Gettleman said, I don't care what Joe Board says. I don't care what Mel Kiper says. Todd McShay, Adam Schefter, all y'all can think whatever you want. I am sticking to my board and my guns. When I get fired, because he will, I'm going to get fired my way. He is Jack Nicholson on The Departed. He might be shot by Matt Damon at some point. But when Matt Damon shoots him, he's going to have lived a great life as the GM of the New York Giants.
That's well played. I don't know how I follow that. That's outstanding. I'll just tell you this. For the third time in 5 years, the best player in the draft just fell to the New York Jets.
Oh, we knew we had to
where
go
they
here
were
at some
drafting.
point.
But it happened. 4 years ago, Leonard Williams just fell to the Jets. 3 years ago, Jamal Adams just fell to the Jets. And last night, Quinnen Williams, who all anyone said was, well, he's actually the best player in this draft. Other guys may go in front of him, but this guy is the best player in the draft. Third time in 5 years, that guy winds up on the Jets. You do that enough times, you better have a really good defense. That's my favorite storyline. We have some more. Laura, over to you.
Oh, Greeny, Jets,
Of course.
Jets. Our storylines start with Dan.
Listen, my Detroit Lions, they got the best non-quarterback offensive player in this draft in T.J. Hawkinson, a vertical threat that can go down the field for Matthew Stafford, a guy that can make plays for them in the red zone. He's your traditional tight end where if you want him to be a blocker in your run game, he's great. He can cross the field and get pass receptions. Again, a dominant player down in the red zone, a big body target for their quarterback. He's the best non-quarterback offensive player in this first round.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you there. I think that the best non-quarterback is Marquise Hollywood Brown, and I think it's because we're going to find out if the Lamar Jackson experiment in Baltimore is going to work, and this guy's going to help them figure that out. Teams are going to stack the box and play man coverage to stop Lamar from running. Lamar doesn't have the accuracy necessarily to pick a team apart, but a guy like Marquise Brown is going to be able to make him hit the big shots and make defense pay for overcommitting to stop Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to disagree with both of you. My favorite storyline is the best offensive player in this draft, and it's N'Keal Harry, the wide receiver, taken 32nd overall to the Patriots. It means they really, really like him, and they really needed him. Of course, trying to fill the void of Rob Gronkowski. Harry is so versatile. He was targeted 18 times with a deep ball and 29 times in the slot. He can also run the ball. They even had him rush it in that Herm Edwards offense. So I actually think that was a huge pickup, and I think we'll see him be a weapon for Tom Brady quite early
We
on.
should have gotten like some dropkick Murphy shipping up to Boston off that background with that N'Keal Harry pick, the
Exactly.
departed.
Let's go.
Park the
The
car.
departed. Stop with the Boston accent. We're going to carry on.